me.
All right. We're officially streaming to YouTube now, so no yelling of the N-word or anything.
Okay, cool, awesome. Well, shit, you guys haven't really watched that much of my act before, have you? Okay.
No, sorry. He was saying that for me, actually.
Oh, okay, great.
Reminding me.
Awesome, cool.
So I don't know if you've ever seen the show before, but kind of what we do is we're the open micers. We're going to kind of do a deep dive into your start in comedy, any crazy open mic stories you may have, times you've bombed, things like that. I'm sure you have plenty.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit about your successes as well. So like doing comedy festivals, your podcast, all that kind of stuff.
Sweet.
And we're going to keep it a little bit of a shorter one tonight too, because we have other stuff that we got to get to.
Yeah.
So we're going to get right to the pudding.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
We're editing vlogs tonight. Yay.
Ooh, yeah. Love to see it.
Oh yeah.
Well, all right.
Where are you guys based at? Just so I know, like, what scene are you in?
The Gulf Coast of Mississippi.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sorry about that.
No apologies.
You have the entire comedy scene from the Gulf Coast of Mississippi on this podcast right now, looking at you.
Hey, there you go. That's fine. I've done Mobile before. That's probably the closest I think maybe I've come to you guys, but next time, who knows?
Well, we hang out with those guys all the time. So
hell yeah.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna hit record, and I'm gonna play, and you're gonna hear the worst theme song you've ever heard. So and me and Jacob have a running bet on which comedian is going to instantly leave the Zoom call as soon as they hear the theme song. So you might be it. We'll see. Here we go.
Let's just sit here and be ready.
3, 2, 1.
Just drop that ass, bitch. It's open micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that open micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head. Jacob looking in bed. It's open micers, bitch. Heard what I said. Drop that ass. Open micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open micers in the house. Open micers in the house. Open micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig. I am the incest portion of this podcast, as you've heard from our theme song. You heard it on the internet, so it must be true. Guys, we are back again with another fantastic guest for the podcast. The first time we have been graced by a female comedian on this podcast in too long of a time, Jason Robbins.
It's been too long.
Too long, buddy. And we have a guest that you know from Lady to Lady. You know her from her show Picture This, and you know her from her vast amount of festival appearances in some of the best festivals in the entire country, including the New York Comedy Festival. It's the one and only Brandie Posey. How are you doing?
Hello, thank you. It's good to be here. I actually find your theme song to be appropriate for being an Open Micers podcast because it's just like starting out in open mic comedy. It's bad, but there's an obliviousness to it and a denial that just pushes you through. And I think that it's honest. It's honest. It's an honest theme song more than anything.
It's bad, and it also gets worse, just like most open micers at comedy.
Totally.
We have 2 versions of that song. That's actually the slow acoustic version of the song, which is my preference. Because I'm not like a booty shaker type of guy. I'm more like, mellow acoustic type of person.
No one thought you were. No one thought you were until you just said it.
I'm too old for all that, man. I can't be doing no booty shaking. I might break something.
But enough of all that. Enough of our horrible theme song provided credit to Touch Biloxi. We are here with the one and only Brandie Posey. I'm very excited to have you here. I think you're the 4th guest from this last Altercation Fest we've had on in the last 3 or 4 weeks. How was this year's Altercation Fest? What kind of trouble did you get into there?
It was a blast. It's funny because it was actually like the 2nd weekend out of 3 festivals that I had 3 weekends in a row. So it was kind of like a low key. I kind of was coming in, was there for 2 days, and then I just drove back to LA after that. And then I was in Fest in Gainesville the weekend before, and then I was in New Orleans for Halloween. So I kind of played it low key a little bit in Austin.
Oh, that's cool. You were in New Orleans for Halloween. Did you do any
Yep.
did you do any sets while you're over there?
Didn't do any sets this time. One of my best friends just moved there, so I was like, let's be a person. Let's do a person's Halloween this year. I'm not gonna like, what do I do? Comedy's gonna compete with what, a parade of ghouls? No, we're not that big. I'd rather just enjoy myself sometimes.
Yeah, but comedy is a parade of ghouls. What are you talking
You
about?
stole it out.
There it is. Just setting you guys up.
But, so Halloween in New Orleans, is there any like ghost tours or anything going on, or is it just a bunch of drunk people? What's happening?
Oh yeah, there's like ghost tours happening everywhere. We went down to the French Quarter. Me and like three of my friends, we dressed up like the cereal monsters. Like I was Frankenberry, and my boyfriend was Count Chocula, and then we had a Yummy Mummy and a Boo Berry, and it was very fun. Everyone kept like freaking out about it. So we went down to the French Quarter and we're like walking around, and there's, it's super haunted down there. So the ghost tours were like 40 different gaggles of people were just kind of like waiting their turn to go to the most haunted spots around. So we just got beignets and kind of just would like listen for a minute of the ghost tour and then move on to something else and kind of just bop around. It was fun.
If you could be a cereal mascot, Jacob, which cereal mascot would you be? I would be Captain Crunch.
Oh, like not even the monsters, just cereal mascots in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would still be Boo Berry because I have boobs airy.
There you go. I could see you in a bow tie. I could see you in like a little red bow tie and a little hat. It feels very Mississippi. So
yeah, I look like I got bullied for wearing a bow tie in high school.
Nice.
I definitely look like that.
New Orleans is cool. I definitely recommend if anybody's never been there, definitely, even if you're from there, still go do the ghost tours because they're really cool.
Yeah, it's super rad, and they do have a really great comedy scene. It's like Lara Sanders, Geneva Joy run a bunch of really great stuff out there. It's just that city's just got so much history and just like art happening that it's just just culturally you should just go see it and soak it up a little bit for sure. That was fun. I was in Gainesville the weekend before. There's a festival out there called Fest that's like a punk festival that has a comedy stage, and I've done that. Yeah, it's a blast because it's also like I love a music festival with comedy because it's like there's no pressure. You just have a fun set. And usually you're done by 7 o'clock, so you get to go see the headliners and get to just hang out for the rest of the night. This year was fun. It was like me, Chris Gethard, was Shane there this year or was Shane last year? I've gone like 7 of the last 9 years, so it's like one of my favorite things to do.
But you're based out of LA though, right?
Yeah, based out of Los Angeles. I'm from Baltimore originally. Went to college in Philly, but then I moved out to LA kind of after I graduated and stay out there. But I'm on the road like probably to a third of the year at the very least.
Don't really hear too much from about LA's comedy scene that much anymore. What's the comedy scene like out there these days?
It's in a weird place post lockdown. We took a very long time to kind of reopen, and a lot of people moved away, and a lot of people moved here, and a lot of people moved here that started during COVID, doing Zoom mics and stuff, and they just kind of just do their it's weird. They also kind of do their own thing, but they don't acknowledge that a scene existed before them, which is kind of funny because you're like, hi, this is Los Angeles. Comedy has been here for decades before you, but they just kind of think that they run everything. So it's in a weird place, but whatever. I do my thing and get booked and don't really worry about it because I'm gone a lot.
Oh, the damn Gen Zers! All you sucky Gen Zers, Jacob. It's all your people.
No, we're not doing that. Let's talk about something else. Do you notice any differences in like an open micer that started on a Zoom mic during the pandemic and like the obnoxious open micer of Christmases past, or are they kind of just like the same?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I don't really do a ton of mics in LA, so I don't really know. I couldn't tell you a ton, but like, I mean, I ran a mic for 3 years when I first started, so it's like I know what old school micers used to be like. I'm sure they're all annoying in their own different ways. And I think it's like, from what I've seen, because I've done a few like Zoom shows that have been like basically mics that, they call it a show instead though. And that is like, it seems like kind of clicky, but a little bit more supportive. I have a feeling that a lot of the people that did Zoom mics, they also maybe like talked about their trauma maybe a little bit because they were on a Zoom and like very alone. So I think maybe there's more bonds in a different way than like a regular in-person mic would give you. But that's just pure conjecture. But that's kind of the vibe I've kind of gotten from it.
Yeah. See, my experience with it is like, I feel like the Zoom thing kind of inspired a lot of people to try comedy that would have never done it if they had to actually get on a stage in front of people. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's interesting though, because it's like when Twitter first started, the same thing kind of happened. Like I always see that whenever a new medium of expression meets a bad economy is like when you get this huge influx of new comedians. So it's like '08, housing crisis, and Twitter was like the last like huge big boom of that, I think. And I think this pandemic Zoom mic, pandemic shit too.
Right. I think the most tragic thing that I've seen from like spawn out of a Zoom mic was, and this was like this year, I got invited to do a Zoom show. And I was like, sweet, I'll go do the Zoom show because sometimes someone will book you for it and then they'll like pay you afterwards and not even tell you. So I was like, all right, well, I'm losing nothing by doing this. And it's hosted by some like D-level headliner's little brother who is 14 years old.
That's funny.
And he has the audacity to like give people notes on their sets after you just bombed 5 people on a freaking Zoom show with all the cameras turned off.
That's adorable.
He's a little cutie.
Oh, that's funny.
He had a joke about looking like Coco from Coco.
Nice.
He did look like Coco from Coco.
Well, good for him for being accurate at the very least.
Yeah, no, it was a good bit. It had legs.
I mean, like you can be precocious at 14. You just don't want to be doing precocious at like 30. That's when it starts. Yeah. I've seen the aging child comedian gets it doesn't age well unless you pivot. So enjoy it while you got it, kid.
Well, shit, that's where I'm at, isn't it? I'm in my pivot stage. I'm not a boy any longer. I started when I was 17, but I started like writing jokes for comedy when I was 14. So I still like when I'm writing jokes, I'm like, wait a minute. I have a kid. I can't write a bit like this anymore. I'm not innocent. I am innocent no longer.
Aw.
But so I want to hear about your comedy origins. Did you start in Philly? Did you start in LA? About how long ago did you start and where in the world were you?
Yeah. So I started doing stand-up about it'll be 16 years in April, end of April 26th is my 16th anniversary. I started in LA after I graduated. I kind of stand-up wasn't really on my radar too much. I had gone to school for like filmmaking because I wanted to make comedies. I wanted to like work in sketch and just, I always say that the scene in Ace Ventura 2 where Jim Carrey comes out of the rhino's ass is like a religious moment in my life, kind of. Like my stand-up's nothing like that, but I remember being in a theater and being like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I want to dedicate my life to feeling like this as much as possible. Like being in that moment, kind of. So I went to school for writing. I would write sketches and scripts and stuff. And then when I graduated, I'd lived in LA for 6 months during college, and I used to take sketch classes at UCB in New York my senior year. So I kind of knew a little bit about both cities. And I mean, I graduated in '06. So it's like the time I kind of thought, oh, it's New York or LA. I don't really like New York very much. Like that's not really my vibe. So I moved into LA because I also just wanted to work in production just to kind of figure out what that was like. And I started just going to UCB shows all the time. And like at that time when UCB LA opened, you could see like Patton Oswalt and Doug Benson and Maria Bamford and Paul F. Tompkins for $5 on a Tuesday. So I just really fell in love with like the indie scene out here because I'd had a lot of bad experiences in comedy clubs kind of growing up and getting like tickets on the street and stuff. So I kind of just didn't think of stand up as a thing until I kind of started seeing those kind of people. And then I kind of was like, oh, I have, let's go meet some of the comics in the scene. Let's start going to open mics. And I I took like a 5-week workshop at the Improv Olympic, and I know people like shit on the idea of workshops and stuff, but like I actually found it really I found it really informative because I thought my teacher was pretty hacky, and I kind of had to like uh justify all my choices to her because she did not understand where my, like my different taste and like what I was doing, because she kept trying to make me just do these take jokes in different directions. So I kind of had to justify stuff out of the gate to her faster, which made me think about what I was trying to do on stage, I think faster than an open mic necessarily would. And then I like started going to mics in LA, and one of my favorite ones, the host about 4 months after I started was like, I'm stepping away, my job hours are changing. Does anybody want to host it? And I said, fuck it. Yeah. So, I started just running a mic every Wednesday and was doing mics, 3 mics a week or 3 mics a night for like, the first 2-3 years of starting stand up. And I'm like a little DIY ska punk kid at heart, basically. So I've always been like I'm always gonna run shows or try to create a space for something new that I want to work on. So I did that. I ran this mic for like 3 years. And after that, I started getting to a couple of festivals, and then I started running a show in LA that was called the 4 and 20, and it was 4 comics doing 20 minutes each at this like dive bar bowling alley, because I basically was like, I got to figure out how to do a feature set if I'm going to go on the road, because comedy sets in LA are usually 10 minutes if you're lucky, especially when you're starting. It's like I just need to know what 20 minutes feels like. So that show was, like 2 homeless guys came every single week. That was about our only audience, and I was like, if you can make like Arturo and Wheelchair Bob laugh, you fucking got this. So yeah, and then
funny.
So
they were great, and then I just started kind of going from there.
So what was your very first open mic? What was that like?
It ended up being at the one that I ended up taking over. It was this place called the Spot Cafe that was at this all yellow room. And I had a weird story about going to a Renaissance festival. I've been a more story-based comic more than anything, so I kind of got a couple laughs on the story and was like, mostly I don't remember much of it. It's just like kind of being on stage and being like, feels weird. Okay. But I got enough laughs, and the host actually afterwards was like, hey, that was cool. Like, you should come back. Like, it was friendly. So it was like a nice, like, okay, cool. Like I felt kind of, encouraged at least. And also was like, thought it was challenging in a way that I hadn't really been challenged before. And I kind of just wanted to keep coming back and being like, I know I'm funny. My friends think I'm funny. Let me figure out how I can be funny to strangers, which I kind of knew was a different thing. But I'm also funny because when I started, I used to be really good friends with like a couple of like people that were like big in the ska scene that would come out to open mics with me if they were in town. So I kind of had this weird like semi-famous like rock star entourage that would just like come to open mics with me. So I had a very weird beginning because people were like, what the fuck is the lead singer of Real Big Fish at this open mic? It's like, I don't know, because he likes comedy and he just like doesn't know where else to see it. So he just wants to come hang out and watch this happen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just
glad
that
part was fun.
I was just wondering whether or not it was an absolute nightmare or if it was something like that where it was kind of encouraging.
Yeah, I was kind of encouraged. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of encouraged out of the gate. I mean, obviously, like, no one's actually funny when they start, but you're like, can be charming or funny enough. And I think that like, I'd gone to a few mics before I did it, and I had seen how mentally ill so many people were that I was like, oh, well, I'm at least gonna do better than at least 15% of this room. So whatever, it's fine. Yeah. That kind of took the pressure off a little bit for sure.
So do you feel like a lot of comedians left LA, and because it seems like a lot of comedians just left LA and went to like Austin during the pandemic?
Yeah, a lot of people left. I mean, stuff here stayed closed for a pretty long time for the most part. Which we had. I mean, we were the epicenter of like the pandemic for a while, and like our numbers, it took a long time for them to go down because of just the people, a lot of the industry that happens here in LA. So like, I was okay with it staying closed longer because we had a lot of people that were still dying. But a lot of people didn't want to stop doing stand up, and they moved to Austin, and for better or for worse, their scene is popping now, and there's a lot going on there. So it's like, good luck, have fun. Yeah. It's made a lot of places a little bit more accessible in LA, so that's fun.
Yeah.
So I want to turn back a little bit to when you were hosting a mic in LA. About how many open mic comics did you get to sign up? And was there just any, like, how chaotic was it trying to wrangle that many like LA open mic comics?
I mean, so the way that I did it, and I had like you had to be there for the list pool. And everyone put their name in a bucket, and I played music, and I'd pull the list, and you signed up where you wanted to in the list, and I had like 25-minute spots, and then everyone had 2 3-minute spots in between it, so it kind of moved around a little bit. And then once the list was full, that was it. You can maybe get up if somebody has to leave early or whatever. So I probably had 50 people total or whatever for the night. Yeah. And then I would play music in between everybody and just kind of move it along. And like if there was like a run of people kind of bombing, I would move a good person up just to get the energy in the room up a little bit, because I think it's like one of the things about hosting that people don't talk about is how like your job as a host is not to necessarily be funny, but to like be in charge of like the energy in a room, kind of like you want to kind of keep it up so people are kind of having like a decent experience. And I think that like, you do that in a regular show. I like to apply it to open mics as well, because then you're at least getting something out of that space. Like I've been, coming up like in music stuff, it always felt very like we were a collective. So I kind of really applied that to stand up too. And I'd be like, hey man, I'm sorry if anybody has a problem like that I'm moving stuff around. I'm here for 4 hours tonight, so I don't care how long you're here for. Like, I'm doing this for free. So if you're here all night too, that's cool. Whatever. Like, and it kind of just didn't bother me if anybody had a problem with it. So
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a long crazy night. You'd have people that would just do weird drop-ins and stuff too. Like, I mean, we had like Dimitri Martin would drop in every once in a while and just wanted to run a few minutes of something. So I was known as like the best mic in town for quite a while, because people were like, oh, you're actually going to get feedback there. It's not just everybody looking at their phones. Because I would just roast you if that happened. And like I have a whatchamacallit, a haiku on the wall here that a lot of I call them my little babies that started when I was running the mic. One of them, when I handed off the mic to somebody after 3 years, the very last one, he wrote me a haiku, and it says, this is really scary. Oh wait, Brandie's here. Pity laughs for all. And it was just like, because I would just be like, everybody give something. Let's just keep the room going here, man. Let's go. So I always felt like I really, had contributed something to the community.
That's funny. I couldn't imagine 50 comics in a night, because I got exhausted hosting the mic here when it was at most maybe 15 comics on a good night.
Oh.
And then like you would have nights where only 3 people sign up, and you'd be like, where's this person? And be like, oh, they quit comedy and moved away. It's like, another one out of my grasp.
That's hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, it's a muscle that you just kind of build up over time, because it's like, well, what else are you gonna do? That's just it.
So tell me about a time, like, all right, I want to know about your worst open mic experience ever. Like whether it's you've bombed so hard, the room was so horrible, something crazy happened. What's like the worst open mic experience you've ever had?
Well, the story that comes to mind is I don't know how funny it is, but there was a guy in the LA scene that was kind of a real menace. He'd been in a jail a little bit and was pretty scary, and he followed me at a mic one time where I had like a fine enough set. Oh no, it was beforehand. Because I had a set after him. That's what it was. But he made his entire set about how he wanted to rape me. That was a really fun 5 minutes of just this man just with a microphone on stage. And I followed him, and I made some joke, like just telling him to go fuck himself, basically. And I called him like a little bitch. I just like really kind of was mean to him. And then he started yelling at me from the crowd, and it was into this whole thing. And I was like, oh, I actually need to be walked to my car tonight. Great. I'm glad I voluntarily chose this evening. But he like threatened to like choke me with like my studded belt and all this stuff. And it was like, all right, cool. Well, we're just gonna, he's made like 4 or 5 different profiles that I've had to block him on, but I haven't seen him in years, thankfully.
Was one of these aliases Jason Waterfalls?
No.
Dang. We have a guy here that loosely matches that description.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's always like, I came from LA, and then like his only joke is something about a titty cheeseburger. But like no one, but he just keeps saying titty cheeseburger over and over again. You know, like, it's not a joke.
You know, it's like comedy is funny because it's like anybody could do it, but unfortunately that also means anybody can do it. And I don't know. Sometimes I think that like those people getting to get on stage is the reason they aren't necessarily committing violence. They got to like let the teapot just hiss a little bit at people, and it's like, all right, man. So thankfully, you know, whatever that. I don't have to, I'm past most of those people.
Yeah,
it like basically just pushes you to get better pretty quick, to be like, all right, let me start getting booked on shit so I don't need to be around this anymore.
Can you call yourself a real comedian unless you have to be followed to your car? You know, you piss someone off bad enough that they want to murder you in a parking lot. I think we've all had that experience at one time. I know Jacob has.
For sure.
They usually try to murder me while I'm on the stage. They don't wait until I get off of it. I've been assaulted multiple times.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
All right. So, Jason, are there any other questions that we need to get to before we ask our penultimate interview ender of a question?
I'm kind of ready to hear our penultimate question here because it's not often we get to ask a lady this question, so it's going to be interesting.
Okay.
All right. I hope that we get a good answer for this one. This is sort of the question we've sort of like based this whole podcast around. We've asked Steve Byrne this question, Sam Tallent. Some of the greatest comedic minds of our generation have pondered the implications of what this question is. Brandie, when was the last time you shit your pants as an adult?
Man, you guys aren't gonna like it. I've never shit my pants as an adult.
There's two camps. There's two camps.
I haven't. Like I don't drink. I think which is a big part of it, because usually people, if they're hungover, they like, you know, eat too much fast food or whatever. Like that's usually when it's happening, right? It's usually a drunk story or a hungover story.
Actually not.
Really?
It's usually, look, you don't understand that guys just sometimes poop in their pants.
No, they don't.
I mean, I know most of my guy friends and several of my girlfriends that have, for sure. Like I know that has happened, but I don't think I have since I was even a kid. Yeah, it's unfortunately at least 30 years. Are you I'm assuming that Jacob, you're the pooper, right?
Oh, I'm for sure the pooper.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting from the two of you.
Oh,
okay,
thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
There was one time where 3 weeks in a row I pooped my pants on a Tuesday.
What were you eating on Monday? What were you eating on Monday?
Nothing like consistent for all 3 of those days to happen. It was just cursed Tuesdays 3 weeks in a row.
Man,
I'm thinking it was probably either gas station hot dogs or you might have had the Chinese buffet earlier.
One of them was the Chinese buffet. This was before my gas station hot dog phase. The other two are just, you know, unaccounted for blunders, just misadventures in my pants.
And like
my memoir.
How close were you to a toilet when it happened?
Not at all.
Damn. And you couldn't like pull over. You just were like, "Oh shit, we're in my pants now." Do you keep like TP in your car now? Because I'm a former Lyft driver. Like I've pissed all over LA, not pissed my pants, but I have zero problem just pissing.
Not one of these happened in a car.
Yeah.
No, the other time you were standing at the bar in the club waiting to do your hosting of the open mic night, and all of a sudden you're just like, I'll be back. I just shit my pants and ran to the bathroom.
Yes.
Damn, you shit your pants before hosting a mic, not even after.
I got up there and I riffed 10 minutes about how I shit my pants, and I made everyone go look at my underwear in the bathroom. It's on them for looking.
This is what I have. This is what I have to work with here. You see what I'm working with here?
Yeah, I'm seeing, Jason. I mean, damn. When's the last time you shit your pants, Jacob?
Oh, Jacob?
Oh, your kid. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. Jason, when's the last time you shit your pants?
The last time I shit my pants, I don't know if I've had an incident since the third Tuesday.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe your butthole at that point was just like, look, man, we can't be known for this. I guess.
And that time I was in bed, so I shit the bed quite literally.
Damn. And you're like, you have a kid. I must. It seems like
she was in the bed with me.
You shit your kid. You didn't shit your bed. You shit your kid.
I cleaned it up with her.
Oh man,
that's rubbed her nose in it like a bad dog.
Damn. Oh, I can't wait for the horrible road act you guys do together. That's gonna be
me. You mean our regular acts?
Yeah. It's been well over a quarter of a century for me.
Yeah.
And see, this is the two camps. It's Camp Jason, the people who never poop their pants, and Camp Jacob, who sometimes it happens.
You probably weren't even born yet the last time I pooped my pants. Probably
not.
Because it's been at least 24, 25 years. And the last time I did was because I had dysentery.
That's a respectable reason. Not too many French fries.
Yeah. But I mean, dysentery counts. That counts. Like, you've done it. I mean, I've had food poisoning and done it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't one of those 3 times was food poisoning.
I think you do it just because it makes a good story and you think it's funny. Like, I'm just going to shit my pants.
No, I'm not one of those comedians that's like, I'm not going to see a therapist because then I won't have material. I'm not like that, dude.
Should see a therapist. Okay, great.
I should see a butt therapist.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No. Unfortunately, I wish I had something for you here, but I got a real strong constitution over here. I've puked maybe 7 times in my entire life. I've never shit my pants since I was a kid. Like, I don't know. Once it's in, it's in. It's like, my food is like my emotions. I just bury that shit.
Yeah. Jacob just lets it all out. Lets everything out.
Yeah.
It's like words. I can't keep them in.
Yeah.
They just keep coming out. I say everything.
Well, the important thing is that you're young and you only have more control of your body as you age. So that's going to really work out well for you.
Look, it makes me very happy that very soon Jason will be where I am, where sometimes he just might poop himself.
Hey, there was I thought maybe it was my time when I got COVID a couple of months ago. I managed to just avoid COVID for 4 freaking years and then finally got it a few months ago. And there was some close calls during my sickness I was like, yeah, that was too close.
Yeah, I think that's probably the closest I've ever gotten is like during a sickness, but I usually try to post up near enough to a bathroom that it won't be a problem. I got COVID in Montana like a few months ago. That's like I like was there and I was like, bitch, you're getting COVID again. This is bad. Two of the 3 times I've had COVID, I've gotten from comedy festivals. So.
See, now that's something you two are in a competition for. I think Jacob's had COVID like 8 times now.
Yeah, 7 times I've had COVID. Yeah.
Jesus. Well, how does that run in the timeline of shitting your pants and COVID? Are those related in timeline at all? Or
no, not at all.
Okay. All right.
I wish they were, but they're not. I can't lie.
Just checking.
I was not slightly sick any of those 3 times.
Man, I'm hoping I stop after the hat trick. I do not want to get it again. I'm not a fan.
Jacob works with children, so he's the high risk factor here.
Yeah.
I've had strep throat probably 25 times in the last 2 years.
Ooh, do you have your tonsils?
No.
Okay. Just curious.
No, I'm
trying to see what body parts you're missing. See what's going on over there.
Yeah. I wish I could say I have like 9 toes or something interesting, but no, just tonsils and adenoids are gone.
Okay. All right. You still have your gallbladder?
Yeah, unfortunately. It's probably next.
Oh, well, it's coming. I sense a gallbladder surgery in your future.
No, I'm sensing a foot's gonna go soon because he's got diabetes.
Dude, here's my plan. Can I tell you guys my plan?
What you got?
If I was on full disability, like if I lost a foot and I could just scooter around everywhere with my good foot, I would make more money than I'm making now, and then I would be able to just pursue comedy full time with my good foot.
My Good Foot is your first album title, by the way.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I'm Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. You could have a two-sider, just have my good foot and my bad foot, and have all your bad jokes. And it's like Two-Face. Yeah.
So here's the thing about the N-word.
Yeah, exactly. That's on the bad foot side.
And your walkout music could be on the good foot by James Brown.
Yeah, there you go.
These boots are made for walking.
That's not James Brown. I'm sorry to tell you.
I'm also not James Brown. I'm Jacob White. All right, let's head for the door, Jason. What do you got for us, buddy?
I don't have anything booked right now. No shows with the band, no comedy stuff. But coming up in the next year, we're gonna have stuff booked. I'm laying low for Christmas. I'm ready to just kick back and enjoy a vacation and do nothing. I'm gonna sit on my ass and play video games for a week and a half. That's what I'm.
Yeah,
good, buddy. I don't have anything that I can publicly announce yet, but I bet our fantastic guest, Brandie Posey, who I'm very thankful for joining us with tonight.
Yeah.
That's not how sentences work. I bet she has a lot of dates that she wants to run down. Brandie, where are you going to be? What do you got going on? Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on X, Twitter. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Brandazzle. I'm on TikTok at Brandazzle is here. My podcast, Lady to Lady, comes out every Wednesday for the last 11 years. It's me and Barbara Gray and Tess Barker. We interview a fourth guest every week who's usually another female comic. It's just like four women riffing that you don't get to hear very often. It's fun. And then my show, Picture This, is comedians paired up with animators, and they animate your jokes live during your set. That happens in New York and LA every 6 weeks. It's real fun. And we get like people like Craig, what the fuck is his name? Jesus, keep saying
Craig. I would love
the creator of Hey Arnold does our show a lot. So we get cool artists and shit that come out for that.
Awesome.
I have a new special coming out next year at some point. We're just finishing that up now. And I also have a comedy record label that's going to start doing releases next year. It's called Burn This Records, and we've got a real hot roster of people coming out in 2024.
Oh yeah. So, well, if you would love to produce My Bad Foot, I'm ready to go for you. I'm 1 foot away from it happening.
Okay. All right. Well, you talk to me once you've lost your foot. Until then. And I mean, at some point that'll happen soon. So
yeah,
you
will be my second call when that happens.
Perfect. Great. Awesome.
Brandie, it was awesome having you on the show. We got to have you back again soon, because there is a want for female voices on this show, because I am so tired of talking to white dudes all the time.
Yeah, nothing but white dudes do comedy. What's that about?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that.
And the last black guy we had on the show did a drug deal in the where was he at?
His car? I don't know.
No, he was getting food from
No, you're mixing up two black people, Jason. This is why I don't talk to you. You're freaking racist, dude.
So this is where I leave the call.
It wasn't the theme song. It was us being racist. We had one friend of ours buy drugs live on air, and then we had one friend of ours who also happened to be black go to Sonic and just order food live on the podcast.
Oh, hold on. I just want to do you guys know the band Flying Raccoon Suit? They're from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I know those guys.
Yeah, they're homies. They're the fucking best. So go see Flying Raccoon Suit, because I'm not coming to Mississippi anytime soon. So go see them. Yeah, see them instead.
I'll let them know you shouted them out on the show.
Love them. They're great.
Yeah, the last female we had on the show, Jacob drove her away because he ate too much chocolate and peanut butter on the show. And that's
true. Well, no, there's a lot of us out there. Go take a look at the Lady Delays back catalog. We're almost at episode 600 at this point. We don't repeat a lot of guests.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. Our only repeat guest is we have a French Stewart comes on every 100 episodes, and we usually do some sort of weird stunt with him. We're weirdly became friends with French Stewart 10 years ago.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, it was great having you on the show. And Jacob, is there anything else before we get out of here tonight?
Just that everyone needs to sign up for our Patreon if they want to see our December vlog, which is very fantastic. Jason's editing it right now. And if you want to see our Thanksgiving special, where I eat rotisserie chicken covered in hot sauce, raw eggs, a half pound of Reese's chocolate, cream of celery soup, and all kinds of other nasty things for your enjoyment. And if you want to see me get tased from way back when, just sign up for our Patreon for $1 a month and you get to see me get tased. How fun is that?
I can't believe you shit your pants.
Yeah,
I know.
And he wonders what happens, why this happens. It's because of that. It's because of our Patreon. So all you patrons, I hope you enjoy all the stuff that Jacob puts his body through to appease you Patreon overlords every single month. But if you want to be a part of our Patreon, go to patreon.com/ompodcast. You can email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com and go check out our blog and vlog and all that kind of stuff over at openmicers.com. And I think that's going to do it for this week. We love you guys, and we will see you right here next week.
Thanks, guys.
My dad foot, all dad jokes. Let's do it.
Hey, there you go. See, you got a whole brand thing.
I've
now.
got 3 sides, all feet jokes.
Hell yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah. It was fun.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, everybody, for watching this.